Shalom and welcome to our show, The Crossover, a show aimed at bridging gaps between Jews and Christians. Diana and Dr. John Hagee are being honored and being given the Loyal Friend of Israel Award due to their staunch support of Israel and the Jewish people. Come and watch an awesome example of Christians who are truly bridging gaps between Jews and Christians.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to be here this evening. I would like to begin by congratulating Dr. Hagee on the 25th anniversary of his ministry. Dr. Hagee, your good work has touched and influenced people throughout the world. I commend you for your devoted efforts, especially all you continue to do in support of Israel and the Jewish people. I am particularly pleased to note that for 23 of 25 years, the Cornerstone Church has sponsored a night to honor Israel. This annual evening of warmth and solidarity has been greatly appreciated by the people of Israel, leaders and citizens alike. Israel is a small country, surrounded by enemies and hostile nations who have yet to accept a Jewish state in their midst. As a result, there has been unrelenting terrorism against Jews in their historic homeland for more than 100 years. Every Israeli prays for peace and an end to this ruthless violence. But I will say that no other country has done so much to pursue peace as the State of Israel. Situated in a region where hatred is a way of life, Israelis cherish and value their true friends. Dr. and Mrs. Hagee, you are indeed what is called in Hebrew Yedidei Nefesh. It means loyal friends of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you by way of our beloved Jerusalem, which 13 generations of my family have proudly called home. Psalm 137, verse 6 tells us, "If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand wither. Let my tongue cleave to my mouth if I remember thee not. If I prize not Jerusalem above my chief joy." Dr. and Mrs. Hagee, friends, loyal supporters, thank you for always keeping Jerusalem in your hearts. Jerusalem, the birthplace of Judaism and Christianity. Jerusalem, the undivided and eternal capital of the Jewish people. The capital of Eretz Israel, the land promised to Abraham by God. God told Abraham, "I will give unto thee and to thy seed the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession." Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, Israel has confronted all manner of adversities. Many have been vanquished. However, Israel and Jews throughout the world continue to face an evil foe that has yet to be defeated. I speak of the curse of anti-Semitism. Dr. and Mrs. Hagee, I know you have taken a prominent role in confronting this outrage. You have spoken out against anti-Semitism time and again. You are our staunch allies in this fight, and I thank you for your determined stand. I will close with the 122nd Psalm, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. As President and CEO of Israel Bonds, and as a Jerusalemite, and the representative of the Israel government, I am proud to join with your friends and family in applauding your many accomplishments. Thank you.
To the ladies and gentlemen of the dais and to all of our friends who are in the great city of Houston, and to those of you who have come from San Antonio, I am honored here tonight, far beyond deserving, by Israel Bonds for those things that God has graciously permitted us to do. Someone asked me tonight, where did you begin your involvement with Israel? And I would have to tell you that it was around the apron strings of my mother, who was a lover of Israel and a Bible scholar in her own right, and I bless her tonight. Tonight I want to talk about truth. And the first principle of truth is why we as Christians have come to identify ourselves with Israel. First of all, as the president of Israel Bonds has said here tonight, Israel is the only nation created by a sovereign act of God. No other nation on the planet has that spiritual distinction. God gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob a title deed to the promised land, and he gave it by an eternal blood covenant. And that covenant is rock solid tonight and will be solid as long as time exists. That covenant cannot be amended by the United Nations. It cannot be amended by the U.S. State Department. It cannot be amended by the President of the United States, because it has been put in hand by the hand of God. God is the original owner of the land and gave the Jewish people a Bible mandate to live in the land and to possess the land always. Therefore, Israel is not required to give the Palestinians or anyone else 1 square inch of that land for peace. Not 1 inch. The land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people from the dawning of creation. And those who have just an average knowledge of world history know that the Palestinians have never owned the land. They have no historical claim to it whatsoever. Land for peace has not worked in the Middle East in the past, and I do not believe it will work in the future. Israel gave away Transjordan in 1948, and there's no peace. They gave away the Sinai Peninsula in the Menachem Begin administration, and it was my privilege to see and to talk with him 3 times while he was the prime minister. There was no peace from that. Now comes Yasser Arafat and his Hamas thugs saying this land is our land. It is not so. It has belonged to the seed of Abraham from the book of Genesis. The metes and bounds descriptions are recorded in the Word of God, and it is theirs forever. And forever means 2003, 2050, the year 3000, as long as time shall endure on the earth. I say that as Christians we are here to say that Jerusalem is the eternal and undivided capital of Israel. And I urge the State Department constantly to move our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem to dignify the city of Jerusalem as the capital city. Christians support Israel, evangelical Bible believers support Israel, not because it's trendy, but because it is the very foundation of our faith. It is the Word of God. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. Let me look you in the eye and tell you there is no hidden agenda. There is no proselytizing motive. There is only our deep appreciation for the Jewish contribution to Christianity. Judaism does not need Christianity to explain its existence, while Christianity cannot explain its existence without Judaism. Now we find ourselves bound together in this war against international terrorism. And believe me, it is an international terrorist ring. And the first casualty of war is truth. If a visitor from another planet were to land in America and believed what he read in the newspaper, he would conclude that the earth was a peaceful planet and that there was only one villainous nation determined to destroy the peace and to violate human rights. That nation would not be Iraq. It would not be Libya. It would not be Serbia. It would not be Iran. It would not be Russia. It would be Israel. As I debate on radio stations across the nation, Israel is vilified as a terrorist state. But if a visitor from outer space went to the public library, he could discover that Israel has a vibrant democracy with freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom of religion. Israel is surrounded by a group of fanatical and undemocratic regimes that teach their children in school that to murder Christians and Jews will send them to heaven to be welcomed by 70 virgins. What kind of theology is that? In Jordan, suspected opponents of the government are tortured, and if that doesn't work, their relatives are called in and tortured. In Saudi Arabia, women who engage in sex outside of marriage are beheaded. In Iraq, political opponents are routinely murdered in mass during Saddam Hussein's reign of terror. Rape rooms were provided for his sons. So I ask the question, are the tactics used to combat terrorism in Israel worse than those used by America against Osama bin Laden? Are they worse than used by America in the pursuit of Saddam Hussein? No. We paid people $30 million to find his sons to shoot them. Question, are the Arab and Muslim states more democratic than Israel? No. Is there any court in any Arab state equal of the Israeli Supreme Court, which frequently rules in favor of Palestinians? No. Does the absence of the death penalty in Israel make it more barbaric than the countries which behead, hang, shoot, and mutilate political dissidents? The truth is that the truth has been lost. And the truth that has been lost to the American media is this, that there is a tidal wave of fanatical anti-Semitism that is sweeping this world as bad or worse than during the era of Hitler. That is now the cultural norm in the Middle East, and that kind of anti-Semitism is sweeping the world. The tidal wave of anti-Semitism is the glue that unites Saddam Hussein, Yasser Arafat, Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the worldwide Islamic terrorist networks. They all hate the Jews, and they all hate the Christians, and they want to see them destroyed. To give a Palestinian state to a terrorist network would only reward the terrorist. It should not be done, in my opinion. Terrorism must not be rewarded. It must be defeated. Why? Because freedom and terrorism cannot coexist. Because terrorism cannot be negotiated away. Because terrorism cannot be pacified with more land or more money. It has been said, and said well before, Israel has no more land to give away. Because terrorism will either destroy free nations, or free nations will destroy terrorism. The big story in the news right now is Israel's intention to deport Yasser Arafat. And while it may be considered controversial to express an opinion on that, let me tell you that I live at an address called controversy. I applaud Israel's desire to deport Yasser Arafat. Osama bin Laden is a terrorist, and we bombed Afghanistan level with the earth trying to catch him. We just can't catch him. Our president said we want him dead or alive. That's pretty clear. Saddam is a terrorist. We shot his sons. President makes it very obvious we want him. but we can't find him. We've sent troops halfway around the world to attack our terrorist. Why can't Israel cross the street to attack her terrorist? The truth is, Israel is an island of democracy and an island of freedom in a sea of thugs and terrorists. No one, least of all the United States of America, should pressure Israel to make concessions to terrorists like Yasser Arafat, whose hands are dripping tonight with innocent Jewish blood. At a minimum, the President of the United States should tell the Secretary of State, Mr. Powell, to quit lecturing Israel when they retaliate against their terrorists. The truth is, Israel's fight is our fight. And so it shall be until the last terrorist on this earth is in a cell or in a cemetery. The fight is our fight. The truth is, peace will not come to Israel until Yasser Arafat has been removed. He will not allow new Palestinian leadership to emerge as long as he has the power. And if there is a Palestinian state, he will be the president of it, and he is a terrorist, and that needs to be said from every pulpit in America and every synagogue in America until the nation gets the word. That is the truth. We cannot have a terrorist in a Palestinian state that will be used to destroy the state of Israel. Israel has granted a 90-day ceasefire to Hamas. Is there anyone in this room who really believes they're not rearming themselves for future attacks against Israel? The truth is, false security is no security. And murderers who take 90-day vacations are still murderers. The violence in Israel must not slow down. It must stop before the peace process can become reality. An immediate and total end to Palestinian terrorism is not a concession Israel is asking of Yasser Arafat. It's a demand. The violence must stop, not for 90 days, but permanently, before the Palestinians can be considered partners for peace. The puppet prime ministers Yasser Arafat is allowing to rise to the top will not attack Hamas, and until Hamas has been reduced to nothing, the roadmap to peace amounts to nothing. That's the truth. This war we fight, this war on international terrorism, we fight for this reason: to establish a free community of nations, free to be prosperous, free from anti-Semitism, free for a mother to put her child on a bus in Jerusalem without the gut-twisting fear in her soul that her baby is going to be slaughtered by a suicide bomber before that baby comes home. Free for a father and his daughter to sit in a cafe and discuss her marriage without both of them being blasted into eternity. The passion for freedom is the same reason we fought the Nazis in World War II. We fought the fascists and the communists to liberate mankind from oppression. The truth is, the terrorists believe that with enough guns and with enough fear and enough violence, that human power can control the human spirit. I want you to understand something. That is a lie. Human power cannot control the human spirit. It was a lie at Auschwitz when the Jews were marched into the gas chambers singing Hatikva. The Nazis had the guns, but they did not conquer the Jewish spirit. It was the lie behind the Iron Curtain. It was a lie in Baghdad. It's a lie in Beijing. It's a lie in Tehran. It's a lie in Havana. It's a lie in Ramallah. No gun can conquer the will of the human being to be free. And America and Israel are joining themselves together. Christians and Jews are joining themselves together to say, we will be a free people and bow to no one, not ever. The last time that I visited with Menachem Begin, he made a statement that I will never forget. He said, every lie secretly longs to be assassinated by the truth. I wrote that down. Every lie secretly longs to be assassinated by the truth. And so I invite every one of you to become assassins. Every time you hear a lie come out of the mouth of a person, attack it, shoot it down. Shoot it down with reason, shoot it down with logic, but don't sit there and accept it. Keep turning on the light in a dark world, and eventually the truth will become accepted as the truth, because we are people who are not afraid of truth. I say this in closing. The truth is that on 9/11, the lie that terrorism is somebody else's problem ended. On that horrible day, we learned what the Israelis have known for 50 years, that evil cannot be ignored and evil cannot be accommodated. Good must stand up to evil. There is no middle ground. There is no moral equivalence. There is no moderate position. We're either going to be the victor or the victim, and you're going to have to make up your mind which one. Appeasement of terrorism is not an option. Human freedom will not bow down to the terrorist, not now and not ever. In the words of a 15-year-old girl hiding from the Nazis in Amsterdam less than a month before she was taken to Auschwitz, Anne Frank said, quote, "I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us. I feel the suffering of millions, and yet when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too shall end, and that peace and tranquility will return once more." One day, Israel, with America standing by her side, is going to live in total freedom, in total security, and total peace. And the flag of Israel is going to be flying over the eternal capital of Jerusalem, and terrorism will be removed from the face of the earth. But until that day dawns, Christians and Jews, free men everywhere, must stand with Israel in absolute defiance of evil, unapologetic defiance. The truth is, free men will never bow down to the lie, because we will never forget that when fighting evil, terrorism will either destroy us or we will destroy it. Terrorism is a cancer, and you either get the cancer or the cancer gets you. It's just that simple. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob continue to bless America. May he continue to bless our president. May he continue to bless the great state of Israel. May his blessings be outpoured upon Jerusalem and the Jewish people and each and every one of you. God bless you.
Word to Diana and Dr. John Hagee, President and CEO of Israel Born Joshua Matzah. And now I ask our distinguished honorees, Diana and Dr. Hagee, please join me at the podium. And I'm going to read Yedidei HaNefesh Award presented to Mrs. Diana and Dr. John Hagee, loyal friends of Israel, with esteem and gratitude, State of Israel Bonds, September 2003. Please.
We hope that today's program has inspired you to do something about helping Israel. After speaking with Donna Korsh, who's Vice Consul of Israel, she shared with me 5 basic ways to help Israel. B, buy Israel products. A, accentuate the positive about Israel. S, speak out against false media about Israel. I, invest in Israel. Suggestion is buying Israeli bonds. C, come and visit Israel. Please let us know what you thought of today's show and if you'd like some more information about how to help Israel. by contacting the crossover at ev1.net. Shalom.
Israel, sympathy.